It's loading, so he can join.
Hello everybody, this is a Forest Lines Forever ladder replay analysis with a good buddy of mine on FAF, Thomas Hiatt.
Yeah. Hello.
So we decided to kind of get together and take a look at some beginner replays. And these are sub 1000 rated replays. And I think we're going to watch from the perspective of one of the players, FemtoZetta in particular.
Yeah, that's correct. He complains too much about his gameplay in Discord, so we have to start casting his games.
So we're hoping that perhaps FemtoZetta can learn something. I don't know. He didn't ask for this replay analysis, in fact. However, if there's other sub 1000 rated players that might be interested in learning how to play on this particular map, this might be helpful. So we have, what do you think about this opening, Thomas Hiatt?
It's okay, I think. Could be better. This is similar to what I do on this map. But you could have built these two unbuilt nexus with the engineer that's expanding. And I think you have to send the second engineer to get reclaim.
Yes, so Femto right now is passing these reclaim patches with his engineer. It seems like he's not too keen on getting these rocks, I think, or ice chunks. He built 4 pigeons before his last 2 mexes as well. Might be problematic for his mass income.
It seems okay so far.
So far. Yeah, you're right. So he'll have a lot of power starting out.
He doesn't seem to queue things up in advance, so he doesn't know what he's doing, really. You need to queue things up ahead of time, otherwise you panic and just do something random that doesn't work out.
Yeah. But so far, not stalling or anything, and he does have an engineer on the reclaim patch now with his third NG or second NG. He definitely had this in mind for later.
He should be assisting his ACU with these 2 NGs since he has mass reclaim. And whenever you have reclaim, you want to assist your ACU to get stuff up faster. But he's just sending them to do random things.
Indeed, he has an abundance of mass right now. And that could be problematic since this amount of mass available to you at the start means that your opponent has the same amount of mass available to him, and if he's spending his mass, then he certainly has more assets than you do. So
that's correct.
Yeah, when you have a positive mass bar, you should be a little worried.
Now he's walking his ACU away when he has a full mass bar, which is almost never what you want to do. You want to keep building with your ACU as long as you have the resources to do so.
So this player FemtoZetta should be building something with his ACU right now. Thankfully, he's getting some engineers out, more engineers out to assist with build power. Flood. We can see some glimpses of Flood now, a scout flying overhead. And FemtoZetta sees an engineer expanding. Flood building in the land factory at one of the forward mixes. Interesting strategy.
It's pretty good to kill that engineer since it denies a half-built land factory.
So this is a really good move from FemtoZetta. Unplanned, probably, but definitely a good development for him here. And now he's making third air, which is Fantastic.
He started to tech 2 mechs, which is not a very good thing to do.
Yeah, it's a little early for upgrading mexes, but
It's tempting to start a mechs when you have so much stuff in storage, but you should really get your half of the map before starting mexes usually.
yes, good rule of thumb is get your half the map first. If you have any questions about when to upgrade mexes, it's roughly around the time that you take half the map, if that's possible. At least as much as the map as you can take. If your opponent is quicker on his feet, maybe you'll struggle to get the map, and you'll be forced to upgrade mexes without even getting half the map. Now, Flood with his hydrocarbon, his forward hydrocarbon already complete.
Looks like Flood also has a tech 2 mechs of his own, so
Seems like
it's
it
okay
might be the
for Femto to have one.
Yeah, so maybe in anticipation for Flood ecoing early, Femto decided to upgrade mexes himself.
It still would have been more efficient to expand to all your unbuilt T1 mexes before building the T2 mechs.
Since Flood is upgrading his mexes, Femto would have had a nice opportunity to take the whole map since Flood isn't making any units.
So you can make like 18 tanks for the price of a T2 mechs. With 18 tanks, you could easily take the enemy's expansion.
Nice move from Femto here, though. He's moving forward with his ACU, putting pressure on Flood at his forward hydrocarbon. And it looks like his ACU will find some success. There's nothing really from Flood to repel the ACU. Nice development over here on the bottom left, too. One of Flood's mechs is about to be taken by FemtoZetta.
Femto just has tons of idle build power in his base. He needs to be making factories or something, but he's just making another T2 mechs.
There's a lot of build power here. Not building anything. Something that he should consider paying more attention to. Femto does seem to have some maybe aggressive tendencies. He wants to push forward.
I don't think we've seen where Flood's ACU actually is, so it's pretty risky to have your ACU like in his base alone.
Yep.
He could just show up with units in his ACU and kill you easily.
There's no intel here at all, so Femto would have no idea what is lying in store for him beyond in this shroud here. Finally, a scout hovering overhead. Thankfully, there appears to be nothing, really, behind the veil, and Femto can rest assured his ACU can be safe. Flood upgrading his ACU now in the core base, so we now know where Flood is.
He's doing his typical drone upgrade.
Flood, well known for upgrading drones.
I think drone is actually okay on this map, maybe, because you can get the plateau with it and the reclaim. But drone usually isn't that good on maps where you make an air factory anyway, because the drone costs as much as an air factory.
Wow, I had no idea.
It costs the same amount as an air factory, so
It's pretty expensive.
it's good on 5x5 maps where you don't want to make air, but want to grab something on a plateau. But for maps like this, where you're making air anyway, you might as well just build a transport, because it's a lot more versatile.
So, both players really ideally would have gotten transports already much earlier, and they would already have dropped these bottom expansions here.
The transport is a lot cheaper than a T2 mechs, and you would get a lot more out of it by getting the mexes on the plateau and the reclaim on the plateau.
Yeah.
Nobody seems to have tried to get the top expansion where Femto's tanks are. Femto probably should have tried to get it. Normally on this map, that's your expansion where your ACU goes. So you should have sent an early engineer up there or something, or your ACU.
Yeah, there's nothing up here at all. And even on the bottom side, it doesn't seem like there's much action going on. Femto now upgrading to Tech 2. He really wants the center. The center is really a major point of focus for him. The periphery here, on this map, though, is pretty important. You really should be focusing on these upper and lower lanes.
Yeah, there's like 3,000 reclaim on each of the upper plateaus.
Yeah.
As well as 3 mexes. And there's also like 2,000 reclaim on the middle level plateau, and a whole bunch of mexes there. You just got that reclaim in those mexes instead of making TQ mexes. You could have a lot more mass by now.
Yeah. But I guess the Tech 2 mexes will pay off eventually. Seems like Femto is being a lot more active with his army than Flood is. Flood taking a much more passive approach. We haven't seen anything from Flood really, any incursions into Femto's territory. Now his ACU is on the way, building. Yeah, it looks like Flood does have Tech 2 ACU. He's probably had it for a while now.
It's just gonna PD creep across the map out of his base, I guess. Flak and TTPD.
Yeah. Femto, I thought he was gonna do decently with air. He has 3 air factories. But it looks like Flood is keeping his air at bay well enough, I guess. Does have a lot of static anti-air as well. So it's at 11 minutes in. At this point, both players really should have tried to get these lower and upper expansions. If either player had done that, whilst the other neglected their own lane.
Looks like Flood actually has probably got the top. He's got the mexes on the bottom top.
Yeah, I see now. Yep, you're right. So Flood is gonna have a pretty big advantage here because of that lane if he's able to defend.
But it was just a drone that got it, so Femto easily could have taken them. Could taken both corners and had like entire control of the map by now. But he's not really playing for control of the map for some reason.
Yeah,
he's just
that's something that Femto
fighting in the middle.
It's a major area that could area of improvement, let's just say.
That's like the whole point of the game, is to get map control of the mexes.
Femto is putting a lot of energy and rigor into getting the middle, advancing with his ACU, but there's more than one way to win a game. It's not just to push the enemy back down the middle.
There's basically nothing in the middle worth fighting over. It's just empty space with like the odd mechs on the side.
Yeah, there's not much at stake here, so Femto should really focus, refocus his efforts, maybe around the periphery of the map. That said, he is concentrating a lot of firepower here in the middle. Maybe he can pull something off, I don't know. Doesn't seem likely. Flood has Tech 2 PDs after all. Probably the worst place to attack right now is exactly here.
Yeah. You don't want to attack into Tech 2 PD because then the enemy's going to get all the reclaim and you're not really going to get anything out of it. Just attack the corners, or there's 6 mexes in each corner. Then you just get way more mass and win the game. But still no transport.
Thankfully,
There's Tech 2 land. He's making Ilshavo that are gonna go into the middle and do nothing.
yes, that can be a problem. It's going to be a lot of wasted resources if he's going to sit his units in the middle, not use them. A lot of these tanks could actually be better used down these lanes, which he has the right idea. He's starting to get the right idea over here on the bottom side now, and on the top lane he did clean up a lot of Flood's mexes, so well done.
You can also just edge build a factory on either of the top plateaus instead of a transport.
Yes.
Usually players edge build on the side by their base.
Yep. Right here.
To get that one.
Here's a nice place to edge build. Here's a nice place to edge build.
But it's also really good to make a transport because you can steal your opponent's reclaim and steal their side.
Yeah. So if he made a transport, he could have gone over up here this way, and then taken some of this.
Transports are like the best unit in the game.
Yeah, I've noticed you like your transports. Towards when you're getting up to 2000 rating, you're definitely using transports consistently. Maybe even earlier than that.
They just allow you to instantly react and do whatever you want to do. Reposition your units, and drop your units in their base, and quickly re-grab expansions that you lost.
Yeah, transport's fantastic unit. Now Flood appears to have taken some of this top mass here. Looks like a lot of that reclaim has disappeared, so Flood is working on his side. Femto, maybe next time if he plays this map, he could consider getting his bottom reclaim here. Might not be familiar with this map so much.
It looks like Flood even has Tech 2 mexes on the bottom left corner.
Looks like it's, they've been grayed out, indicating that either they're destroyed, which we know didn't happen, or they were upgraded. I guess he could have control K'd them, but very unlikely. One engineering station for Flood here, interesting.
FemtoZetta's got some mobile missile launchers in an attempt to take out this fire base in the middle of the map.
1 second, 1 second, I'm gonna pause, okay? 1 second.
Okay. Did the replay actually pause for you?
Nope. It didn't.
Yeah, I couldn't pause it either.
It's alright. We'll just have to, there's gonna be kind of a break in the recording, but that's fine. We'll just deal with it. Okay, so there's some nice PD down the middle. Flood's been upgrading all of his mexes very, very well. He's looking pretty strong here. Femto's strategy is not working very well, and
Flood just made T2 mexes on the bottom where there's absolutely like no defense or anything. Just because Femto chose to attack into point defense in the middle instead of actually take expansions.
Yeah. So Flood has no real incentive to defend these mexes since Femto isn't being very proactive here with his bottom lane, so Flood can freely upgrade whatever mexes he wants. And it's getting a little dangerous now for Femto because Flood has Tech 3 land, and Femto is struggling to keep up with Eco, I think.
Femto's been running all his T1 factories the whole time, but his T1 units are just idling, basically. So he could have paused those and invested in Eco or something else.
Yeah. So a lot of these, all these land factories, just building units.
Ideally, he would have actually used them to take the corners. Now he's built a TML in the middle, which is not gonna do anything, probably, because Flood has TMD.
Yeah, Flood has some robust defenses.
Flood actually has a Tech 2 mass fabricator surrounded by land factories.
Oh, nice.
Something I've never seen before, really. Confused me for a second because I thought it was a mechs, but there is no mechs in that location, so...
Yeah, right here, that's a mass fabricator. That's a very rare sight. Not very helpful for games at higher ratings, but might have some marginal value for Flood here against Femto.
Commander under attack.
Femto now building TMD at his firebase. There's not really much he's defending against right now. Flood is very happily sitting in his own base and producing, teching up.
Like this whole fire base that Femto's invested in isn't actually protecting any mass extractors.
Yeah.
So it's all wasted mass, pretty much.
Oh, it looks like he's gonna move forward. Somewhat ill-advised advance, I think, and the formation is pretty detrimental. And it looks like all of his Elchivos at the front are gonna be, looks like they've evaporated in the haze of Seraphim dust. Now, his entire army has dissipated into nothing.
Under attack.
Very quick battle, and in fact, Femto didn't even get a good visual on Flood's defenses.
Well, there was never anything to really be gained by making that attack anyway.
Yeah. Now, Flood has a pretty major advantage over here against Femto, though I don't know what his decision will be, how Flood is going to react.
He's got some Tech 3 engineers out, so he might make Ravagers.
Yes,
That's what I would expect next.
he'll just make Ravagers and further solidify this firebase.
So FemtoZetta doesn't have a TTP gen at minute 21. So now he's stalling power. I don't think he's really produced any more P-gens for a long time.
Yeah. He's been spending just all of his actions, I think, at the front. And now that there's nothing to be done here, perhaps he'll kind of shift his focus to maybe ecoing or getting some power up. He's upgrading to Tech 3 without Tech 2 power. That's a little problematic. Now he's stalling far too much power.
Flood's invested in a SAM in his main base.
Yes. Might be a little bit overkill. But Flood hasn't really been scouting, I think, so for all he knows, Femto has Tech 3 air. He has a lot of SAM actually. He has 2 SAMs now. Femto is still being relatively active here in these top and bottom lanes, so he has the right idea. It's just has to be done a little bit more quickly and a lot more aggressively. There's just so few units over here at these top and bottom lanes that he wouldn't safely be able to secure these mexes. Another scenario for this game could have turned out better for Femto is if he had focused all of his units on the top and bottom. He could have gained a hefty eco advantage.
Yeah, just send your units to where there are mass extractors on the map.
Yeah.
He's still producing Ilshivo out of his Tech 3 land HQ, which is a strange move.
Yeah, it's kind of defeats the purpose of a Tech 3.
I don't know why he went to Tech 3 if he was going to produce Tech 2 units.
It's all about that build power.
Produced a Tech 3 engineer. He's trying to make a Tech 2 P-Gen, but the pathfinding is making it impossible.
Yes. None of the engineers are cooperating. They're too busy building Ilshis. Something that players should really pay attention to is moving these engineers out of the way so that they can... Yeah, each time an Ilshi is started, like, they stop moving and assist it. But finally, he's able to start that Tech 2 Pigeon.
I would have just placed it somewhere else. It's not that important to get some adjacency bonus.
Yeah. Yeah, so just as soon as you get the Tech 2 NG out, just place it anywhere. That's not awful, and you're good to go. It's important to get that Tech 2 power out as soon as possible. Femto now building some Tech 2 PD here to stave off what looks to be some aggression from Flood. We can't really see what units are involved except these flapjacks. Maybe probably these are RD. We could probably expect some Perseus to come to the front pretty soon. And Flood is creeping forward with some SAMs too. Completely negating Femto's interceptor force here.
Now Femto's losing his T2MXs on the bottom to a couple artillery.
Yeah, Femto.
Because he sends all his units to die in the middle.
Yeah, Femto hasn't paid attention as much as he should over here at the bottom.
Now he's producing Othams. Also not likely to really do anything. If he had a transport, he could drop them somewhere.
Yeah, these Othams, they're still pretty powerful. They could be used if used properly. But
I think you'd mainly want sniper bots or T3 removal RD in this case.
yeah. A Ravager now in place for Flood. He's going to continue to creep forward, I think, and this is somewhat of a hallmark of Flood's play. He likes to creep forward with fire bases, I think.
Flood also has some Titans on the field. Would have taken out the top side.
Yeah, so all this...
Team RDs coming from the bottom side.
Oh, it's getting a little scary for Femto now. Looks like things are looking grim. His ACU desperately trying to hold on to this choke point. But all around him, his outposts are falling, so it's getting a little scary now.
He's still producing with all his T1 factories and his T2 factory, but he's stalling mass.
That's a lot of mass.
It'd be much more efficient to pause all the T1 factories or recycle them and just spend all your mass on the T3 units.
He could control K them and reclaim it, but
once you've got access to higher tech, you want to be spending all your mass on that tech level instead of lower tech level.
yes.
Now the Ravagers have creeped up and are taking out his fire base.
Yeah. His Utao Shala, is that what they're called? No match for the Ravagers and the Flapjacks Flood. And up here on the top right side, Titans have overtaken the two Othams that Femto deployed to the field, and now Femto has an opening here on the right side. It's looking very vulnerable right about now.
Commander under attack.
Femto's...
Titans are
yes.
probably going to come in and end the game
Yeah.
sometime soon.
Yeah, it looks like it's starting to approach the end here. as Femto's has run out of options. Femto, his ACU has been very active this game. All game it's been very active, putting in a lot of work. It's just that you just gotta leverage your units properly. He had no leverage here, and all that effort, all for nothing really.
You just have to build the mexes on the map. That's all that Flood did. He just built all the mexes. He didn't even really defend them, but he built them, so
yeah, that's,
he wins the game. Femto wasn't very concerned with building the mexes, so...
Yeah, the biggest lesson for Femto, I think, would be to take map control and try to defend his mexes. It's really important to take these mexes up here. They have to be a priority.
The Titans are actually getting taken out by T1 Arty.
This is a beautiful sight here. T1 Arty eradicating Titans, but won't be long. Titans are especially built for taking out Arty. Femto, now his ACU in jeopardy. If Flood were to advance just a little further, he would find Femto's ACU pretty undefended. Femto deploying a couple more Othams towards the right, but they could be better used here in the middle. Now Titans bearing down on Femto's ACU. Things have changed drastically since the start of the game. Femto's firebase, nothing really left of that except reclaim. And the only thing surviving is his ACU. With 4-star vet, not bad. And he does have overcharge at the ready.
I don't think he has enough energy to kill a Titan in one shot.
No. Well, let's see.
I guess maybe he does.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Titans do have not that much HP.
I think they have enough to not die in one shot. He must have just shot a damaged one. Because Ilshabo take more than one E-storage.
yeah.
And they only have 2,500 HP.
Right. So many Titans out for Flood now.
If he would just move in, it would be game over.
Yeah.
He's taking his time.
We can see Flood's playstyle kind of shining here. He is very slow and steady, and only creeps forward with his units. Doesn't really do anything particularly aggressive. Otham's now accompanying Femto's ACU. Might buy him some more time. Well, he took out 2 Titans with 1 OC. Flood built another Ravager now. I think Flood's objective right now is to win the game with just Ravagers.
It's another large group of Titans coming in from the top. That will maybe
here they
attack
come.
the base.
Yeah. Oh, here they come. They're coming down now. But Flood is being pretty cautious with them. They're dancing around the border. Okay,
Femto's
here
AC
we go.
is taking in a lot of fire from the Ravager. It's down to half HP already.
Yeah. Oh, here comes Femto. I think maybe this is his last hurrah. Oh, that Ravager is brutal. That's a lot of damage. And has 6,500 HP. There it goes. Femto. Good effort. Nice fire base in the middle, but we see what really is truly important in ladder is to get map control. And Flood matching Femto's movements and then some, so nice checkerboard pattern P-gens here. Anyway, I hope some knowledge can be gained from this game, or some insight. And
Build mexes.
build mexes, everybody. Build mexes, and you too can be like Thomas Hiatt and be 2200. All right. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next cast. Goodbye.